Last week, the Patriots' Curtis Martin muffed a fumble at the goal line, and Cleveland's Hanford Dixon recovered. And that set up the divisional round playoffs for the all-time rosters franchise. It comes down to this for the Final Four in the AFC. 5 seed Cleveland on the road against division rival Pittsburgh to kick things off. The Colts and the Raiders meet in the second round as well. The Browns and Steelers split their regular season series, both teams winning by double digits in their road games, and they meet again at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. The all-time Steelers' Antonio Brown was one of the best wideouts of his era and makes the first big play of the game, a 79-yard touchdown catch, one of his 2 in the first quarter for Pittsburgh. Here's the second from 19 yards out. He had 101 yards on 3 catches, then got hurt late in the first half. Otto Graham very likely could have gotten hurt on that hit and was picked off for the first of 4 times on the day by the Steel Curtain. Here's another one of those interceptions. Hall of Famer Mel Blount with the pick and the 6, gone from 25 yards out. And meanwhile, the Steelers' Mel Blount wasn't done there. The very next Otto Graham pass is another interception, and he'll take it back inside of the 35. Big Ben was 9 of 15 for 184 yards and 3 touchdowns on the day, 2 to Brown and 1 to his longtime teammate, the tight end from Virginia, Heath Miller. An embarrassment for the Browns in the divisional round, and Pittsburgh is moving on to face the winner of the Colts or the Raiders with a 48-7 win tonight over the all-time Browns. The Steelers are now 7-2 at home this year. The Steelers will face off against the winner of this game played in Oakland between the AFC South champion Colts and the AFC West champion Raiders. Ken Stabler with a fabulous season for Oakland, Las Vegas, 21 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. His Raiders had a bye last week. Stabler's first interception on a home game all year is on the first play of the game, right into the hands of the man who sealed the win against the Chiefs last week, Bobby Boyd. 5 plays later, the man who also was involved in the win in a big way, marvelous Marvin Harrison with a sensational catch in the Raider end zone. All-time Colts lead at 7-0, and they weren't done there. The ensuing drive, led by Peyton Manning, another brilliant one led by Harrison and Raymond Berry, the Hall of Famer out of the 1950s. And our score in Oaktown is 14-3 before halftime. The Colts played well late last week and picked up the rhythm again this week. Tim Brown kicking things off after the 2-minute warning for the Raiders as Stabler marches him downfield in what was otherwise a rough first half for the Raider quarterback. Inside of the 10 to Fred Biletnikoff, and then into the end zone for Hall of Famer Tim Brown. 7th touchdown catch of the season and the first of the playoffs for Brown. Colts lead at the half 14-10 and come out firing yet again, led by the reigning Offensive Player of the Week, Hall of Famer Peyton Manning. Down the field to Marvin Harrison, who finished with 6 catches on the day, including this one from 26 yards out, over the shoulder for the Colts touchdown. This one's getting ugly in Oakland as the Colts lead 21-10 at the end of the third. Manning had 3 interceptions on the day, including this one to 4-time Super Bowl champion Matt Millen. He won a couple with the Niners, 1 with the Raiders, and 1 with Washington. On 4th and 1, the Raiders keep their season alive with that conversion. And while they didn't score a touchdown on this possession, they got a big break with Antoine Bethea drop. Sebastian Janikowski field goal made it a 1-score game. Colts trying to march down the field to win it, but Lenny Moore, who was very reliable this season, commits just his 3rd fumble of the year. This one forced by the outstanding defensive tackle, Chester McLaughlin. So Ken Stabler gets a glimmer of hope here down late in the game. Cliff Branch makes his first catch of the football game here. Another big reception from Brown. He had 7 of those on the day. And then on 3rd and 7, one of the Pro Bowlers for the AFC roster this coming August, Fred Biletnikoff, with a terrific catch in the end zone. Was he in? The officials think yes, and he was absolutely in. Beautiful catch at the goal line. Raiders had to go for 2, and Biletnikoff was the big play man throughout the day, and he reels it in to convert the 2, and we're headed to overtime in Oakland. Raiders win the toss, and Stabler was vintage on this drive, marching him down the field It certainly helped that they had a strong running game, 52 yards on the day from Marcus Allen, 47 from Bo Jackson, and some big plays as well from the league leader in rushing in 2022, Josh Jacobs. Sebastian Janikowski caps off a 13-play, 68-yard drive to begin overtime. And in the overtime rules in the playoffs, both teams got a shot, and Peyton Manning did his best. The big play to Raymond Berry of 32, no huddle for the Colts, and the next throw of Manning would be his last. Interception from Howie Long. Of all players, it's the defensive lineman seeking into coverage, and Mr. Raider himself, nicknamed Caveman, tricks Peyton Manning to win it in overtime for Oakland, Los Angeles, Las Vegas. The all-time Raiders, in a rematch of the Immaculate Reception game, will meet Pittsburgh in Heinz Field for the AFC Championship game. 280 yards and 3 touchdowns, but 3 picks for the Sheriff. And the Raiders will take on the number 1 seed Steelers next week for the all-time rosters playoffs AFC Championship game. If you thought the AFC playoff games were wild, check out what happens for the all-time rosters franchise divisional round in the NFC. First meeting of the season for the Bears and Niners, and for the Packers and Cowboys. The 2 division champions meet at one of the great stadiums in the country, AT&T Stadium in Arlington, where the Cowboys and the Packers play for it all in the NFC, a chance to battle Chicago or San Francisco. Opening drive for Roger Dodger and Dallas, and they come right out to the air against that phenomenal Packer defense. They'd settle for 3 and end up with nothing. A 53-yard miss from the starting kicker for the NFC Pro Bowl, Brandon Aubrey. First Packer drive, a dream run from Jim Taylor. 53 yards for the former MVP out of LSU. Ron Kramer, who's his teammate in the Vince Lombardi era, with a couple good blocks en route to the touchdown. Next Staubach-led drive, another beauty, this time an even better catch from his longtime teammate Drew Pearson, who's in there for the injured Michael Irvin as their number 1 receiver today. Back to the air to Hayes, who's another big playmaker, and he's in for the touchdown to tie it at 7. Then the Packers would come out storming downfield. Darren Woodson, however, puts an end to this drive with the interception. But then Dallas, inside of their own 15, immediately give it away. First fumble of the year from Roger Staubach, and the first touchdown of the season from Dave Hanner. Green Bay leads by 7. Then after a Cowboy punt, right down the field goes Favre in the offense. Sharp to the 17, and Amon Green, who had his best day of the season last week, he's in the end zone, and Green Bay leads 21-7 late in the first half, 21-10 at halftime. Brett Favre was accustomed to the occasional mistake in his day, and Mel Renfro takes advantage. And that would not be the last time you hear of the all-time Cowboy leader in interceptions with 52, Mel Renfro. Brandon Aubrey makes amends for his miss from 53 by drilling that from 57. One-score game in Arlington. Favre makes amends late in the third quarter. Greatest tight end in Packer history, inside the 25, Paul Kaufman. Then on 3rd and goal, he throws one to Don Hudson, who's running out of the end zone. So Green Bay settles for a field goal and leads by double digits again. Staubach throws one to Pearson, who had a fine day for Dallas. 6 catches for 125 yards, and the Cowboys are in business. 3rd and 10, Staubach to the end zone for Hayes, who had 3 touchdowns on the day. That's another one for Dallas. He's in the back line, and the Cowboys score a 2-pointer with Jay Novacek. Green Bay trying to milk the clock here. A first down to Amon Green, who only totaled the ball 4 times. They gave it to Tony Canadeo. No chance. There's the aforementioned 3rd touchdown of the day from Bob Bullitt. This one from 64. And Dallas leads, but leaves a lot of time left for Brett Favre and company. Roger Staubach, 21 of 32, 343 yards and 3 touchdowns in a sensational day for the Hall of Famer out of Navy. Brett Favre wouldn't be done just yet either, beating Mel Renfro for that first down. A 3rd down conversion to Sterling Sharp, and here come the Packers, the highest scoring offense in the regular season at over 25 points per game. Under 30 seconds left, over the middle to the Hall of Famer, James Lofton, a gain of 20. 3rd and 10, Brett Favre for the win, throws one to the end zone, and Renfro picks him off again, and Green Bay's 14-point lead evaporates in the end zone with Mel Renfro. A huge comeback from the Cowboys, who win it in the divisional round 28-24. What a football game this was in Arlington. Brett Favre held to a season-low 35.2 passer rating. Meanwhile, the best day of the season was from the Cowboys' Bob Hayes. The 13-time NFL champion Packers go down on the road. Meanwhile, the 9-time champion Bears are on the road in San Francisco to battle the all-time Niners. Opening drive for San Francisco begins on the run from Frank Gore and ends on the run with the backup Roger Craig, who breaks 3 tackles in a spectacular run reminiscent of the '88 game against the Rams. San Francisco leads early by 7. Then after a Luckman interception to Deion Sanders, the Niners cap off their second drive just like the first. This one a 49-yarder to Jerry Rice, who reels in his 13th touchdown of the year, and he wasn't done there. Third drive of the day after a field goal from Chicago, over the middle to George Kittle, the best tight end in Niner history, and to the outside to George Kittle. The Niners scored touchdowns on their first 3 possessions of the game. Unfortunately for them, they left a lot of time for Sid Luckman before the half, and he was outstanding. Throws one to Marshall, who does herniate his disc and is out for the rest of the season, no matter how far the Bears go. That Chicago drive would continue with a big throw to Mike Ditka, who then lost the ball at the end of this play, but then was ruled down by contact. And 2 plays later, Harlan Hill sheds at Merton Hanks' tackle and is in the end zone to keep the Bears in it, 21-10 at halftime. San Francisco's offense was sensational on the day. 408 yards from scrimmage and 19 first downs. Who knew 3 of them would happen in a row in the fourth quarter by Joe Montana's legs? What a performance from the Hall of Fame quarterback. 3rd and inches, a play fake to Wilson for the first, and the next play is a first touchdown of the year from the fullback out of the backfield, Hall of Famer Joe Perry. Bears are down, but not out late in the game. Sid Luckman finished 27 of 40 for 407 yards and 2 touchdowns, including that one to Johnny Morris. The Niners' lead has been trimmed to 8. That San Francisco running game was hit and miss this season. Game on the line. Frank Gore does his part. His first 100-yard game since week 5 of the regular season against Tampa, but he was stopped there. Over the middle to Ditka for 26. Sid Luckman, as you can see, a sensational day all the way around. Montana was brilliant as well. 3rd and 3 late. Luckman for the tie if they convert the 2. It's caught by Hewitt in the end zone, but the officials think about it and say no. Was this a bad call? Very close. Hewitt was out of bounds earlier and just grazed the toe on that back line. 4th and 3, this for the game, and after getting pushed down, the 2023 Defensive Player of the Year seals the win. That's number 97, Nick Bosa. And the all-time 49ers will play host to Dallas in the NFC Championship game next week. What a performance from Joe Montana and the Hall of Famer Jerry Rice. 8 catches, 138 yards, and a touchdown. Before we continue, let's check out the eliminated teams for the divisional round. The all-time Chicago Bears with 9 titles, 40 All-Pro players, and a league-best 26 Hall of Famers are one of the most talented and one of the most respected franchises in the history of the game. Their shortcomings at quarterback and in the secondary were a big reason why they are going home. The all-time Green Bay Packers have also been stunned in Dallas. 13 World Championships for Titletown with 33 All-Pro players and 23 Hall of Famers. A devastation to see the Packers go home in the divisional round, but Green Bay just wasn't good enough down the stretch, and losing their quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, didn't help either. Plenty of Hall of Fame talent on the Indianapolis-Baltimore Colts franchise as well. They won 2 World Championships in the 50s with guys like Raymond Berry, Super Bowl V in 1970, and Super Bowl 41 with Peyton in 2006. And finally, the Cleveland Browns franchise, led by that guy, Hall of Famer Jim Brown, the all-time rushing yard per game NFL record holder. He's one of the 23 All-Pros and the 15 Hall of Famers for a franchise that is sent home eliminated from the playoffs. A congratulations to the Final 4 of the all-time rosters franchise. Raiders and Steelers meet in the AFC title, and Dallas visits San Francisco in the NFC. This is the All-Time Rosters franchise with Charger Dude 95.